Hey, what's up? It's Josh from the Dialed In Hunter. I've got a bunch of gear laid out here on this table. I'm actually right in the middle of getting ready to leave for a Colorado hunt. It's going to be 10 days long. I drew a archery mule deer tag, and I also have an archery black bear tag. So really excited, kind of getting everything in line. So I figured it'd be kind of cool to go through all what I'm bringing with me. These are going to be backpack hunts. I say hunts because what we're probably going to end up doing is pack in for 3 to 4 days into one area if we don't find what we're after. Not seeing any deer, we'll pack out of there and then pack into another area. So we might be hitting the truck in between, packing at a different spot. So that's why I say hunts. So right off the bat, let's get into it. This is my backpack that I'll be using. Exo Mountain Gear 4800. I've used this for the past month or so. I had it with me in Utah for 6 days on a backcountry mule deer hunt. It worked great. I packed out, just came back from a bear hunt, packed out 2 bears. Thing freaking held weight awesome. Really excited about that backpack. Excited about a little bigger bag. After 7 days, I was actually able to fit all of my gear and food inside the backpack, so I didn't have to extend out the pack and use the load shelf to bring extra food in like I have in the past. So really cool, stoked about that. Water. For water purification, what we'll be doing is, this is a Katadyn Hiker Pro. It's a pump. I love this filter. This is the filter I probably use the most living in Arizona. I don't normally get the luxury of having big adequate water sources for stuff like a squeeze filter or anything like that. With that being said, we are going to Colorado, so my brother will be coming with me, and he's going to be, I haven't even opened this thing yet. He'll be packing the Be Free squeeze filter. This thing is sweet. It's a gravity kind of deal. We used this in Utah, and it was basically like, you know, you fill the bag up hanging in a tree, and you've kind of got a faucet, kind of like running water. It's really simple to use. Be careful with that in freezing temperatures. You don't want the water inside the filter to freeze because it will compromise the filter. So what we do is we'll shake it out and then put it in a sleeping bag with us or something like that so it doesn't freeze. Luckily on this trip and the previous trip, the temps were only getting down to like mid 40s, so it was totally fine. On top of that, I like to bring a Nalgene bottle. This I really like for mixed drinks. So on all my backpack hunts, I'll bring with me, and I'll get into my food bag here in a second, but I like to bring Hydrate and Recover from Wilderness Athlete. I don't go on backpack hunts without that stuff. It's a game changer for as far as like keeping going in the field, muscle soreness, being able to wake up and just keep grinding day after day after day. Really helps out. Plus it kind of breaks up the monotony when you get back to camp. You're gonna eat dinner. It breaks up the monotony of water, so I really like that. So that's why I bring the Nalgene with me. And then all day long, I'll be drinking from this. This is a 3-liter Big Zip from Platypus. I've used this thing for years. These are great, so really stoked on that. I prefer a bladder. So I mentioned food. Here's just an example day that I have. I'll just kind of go through this. I have for breakfast, I have dark timber coffee and Heather's Choice strawberry buckwheat. Stoked on that. There's stuff like, I've got a couple bars in here for a snack, gummy bears, a new love of mine. I mentioned the Hydrate and Recover from Wilderness Athlete. I also have an Energy and Focus from Wilderness Athlete in here. A tuna packet with some garlic crackers. Pumped on that. Got like a little packet of mayo and packet of relish to put in the tuna. Trail mix, another coffee, some fig bars. Yeah, that's pretty much my day. I kind of I used to do like an actual lunch. Like I would bring in, and I still do this every now and then. I used to, you know, bagel with peanut butter and honey or something like that for lunch. But I find myself eating a actual breakfast with coffee now, and then I snack throughout the day, and then for dinner I have like a freeze dried. So on these trips I'll be having a mix of Peak Refuel. These are freaking awesome. I love these things. This is my favorite flavor. I also have Heather's Choice with me, some dark chocolate chili, salmon sockeye chowder. Those are great as well. Let's see here, trekking poles. These are from Black Diamond. They are the Distance Carbon FLZ. They fold up, kind of cool. Go together like this, and they extend out. Good to go. I believe these are 11 ounces, 12 ounces for both of them. So really lightweight. Haven't had any failures with these. Been on plenty of pack outs with them and stuff, so really cool. I will have these in my hand when I'm packing in, so they won't be attached to my backpack, but they will be in my backpack when I'm hunting. Sleep system. So I'm probably going to bring 2 shelters with me, just because of my unfamiliarity with this new shelter. It seems great, but I haven't used it yet. Okay, so this is the new Recurve, the First Lite Nemo collaboration deal. This thing is light, man. It's only like, I think it's like 1 pound, 10 ounces, something like that. Don't quote me on that. It's under 2 pounds. It's really, really awesome. Plenty of room in there. This is the shelter I'm planning on using. However, I'm probably going to have the Hornet 2-person back at the truck, just in case. I'm not saying this is going to fail, but I haven't used it yet, so I don't know how it's going to do. So also have the footprint that goes with it. Along with that, little Sea to Summit Arrows pillow. These things are awesome. Like 2 ounces, just a game changer for getting a good night's sleep. This is a total luxury item. I really like having this in the shelter. It's a little lamp, hangs up in the shelter, lights the whole thing up. Of course, you don't need this. You could do the same thing with your headlamp, but I don't know. Just kind of personal preference, I guess. Then my pad that I like is, I've been using this for years, Thermarest NeoAir X Lite, 12 ounces. Haven't had any issues with it yet. It's loud when you're laying on it, so if you're sleeping next to somebody, that might be kind of annoying, but I mean, other than that, this thing's been rad. Good night's sleep is important back there. And then this is my quilt. Enlightened Equipment Revelation 20 degree. Few years so far I've been running this thing, no complaints. Kind of iffy on going to a quilt from a bag. The one thing I do miss about a sleeping bag, an actual nubby bag, is the hood. Because I would put my pillow in the hood, and then the pillow wouldn't fall off of the pad. So it was kind of a cool combo, but you can't beat, I mean, this thing's 19 ounces, so kind of like if you want something super ultra light, or you want, you know, a little bit more comfort or whatever. I haven't had any issues with it though. So cook system. Here's my little coffee cup that I bring with me. This is a kind of a concoction that I made. It's GSI Minimalist Hanalite, I believe it's called, is the cup system. Inside it I have an Optimus Crux light. Super rad little stove. Thing packs a punch. I've used it in all sorts of conditions, from 2,000 feet elevation up to 10,000 feet elevation. Haven't had any issues. Really pleased with that setup. The only thing with that though, because it is an open type of stove, unlike a jet boil, you might have issues in the wind. So you kind of gotta maybe finagle an area. Like I've set up my backpack before to block the wind. I've laid in front of the stove to block the wind. Maybe find a crevice like in up against a boulder or something like that to get out of the wind. There's ways to get around it. The size and the weight is way better, in my opinion, than running something like a full system like a Jetboil. So again, personal preference. I like bringing a full big cannon with me of fuel. I'll do this for, I'll use it for breakfast, coffee. I have coffee again in the middle of the day usually, and then for dinner. So 10 days, that's when I'm bringing a big one. Just to make sure. Food hanging system. This is a 20-liter Sea to Summit dry bag. Inside of it, I have paracord with a carabiner. Whether I'm in bear country or not, I hang my food. How I look at it is, you know, I've heard stories of like rodents getting into food that people lay around and stuff. I mean, there's people that never hang their food and they never have any issues. I just want to play it safe. Like, I wait a long time to go on these hunts. They mean a lot to me. So I want to go back there and know that I have food. So that's my food hanging system. Optics. This is a mule deer hunt, so I'm going to be doing a ton of glassing. So first off, on my chest, I'll be wearing, this is a small Bino Harness from FHF gear. Inside it, I have 10x42 Vortex razors. Really like that. I love putting those on the tripod and just scanning around. It's got a good field of view, great clarity. I never have any headaches with these. Rangefinder is a Ranger 1000. Great rangefinder. Also in the Bino Harness, I mentioned I have a bear tag with me, so whenever I'm bear hunting, I like to carry a predator call. You just never know. Like, I'm not, like, even if you're not planning on predator calling, you never know when you might need one to maybe lure a bear out of some dense cover or something like that. I've done that before and filled tags on bears, so really cool to have this. And then obviously wind checker, gotta have that. We're bow hunting here, so gotta keep track of the wind. And then, so I mentioned the tripod. Oops. Mentioned the tripod. This is a Slick Pro 2, I believe. Manfrotto B-free head on top, super smooth head. Got the Vortex adapter on there. I've had this tripod for a while now and haven't had any issues with it. I was gonna buy a carbon one a year or two ago, but the weight is, this was actually lighter than the carbon setup that I was looking at, so I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. So I just put this head on it, super smooth for panning, really great. Stoked on that setup. And then we are in Colorado, so it's big country. I used a different spotting scope on my Utah hunt. It worked. I really would have appreciated a little more reach though. So on this hunt, I'm bringing with me the Vortex Razor 65 millimeter. For the weight, like, it's not the lightest thing out there. It's also not the heaviest. This is gonna really reach out there and let me pick around and that stuff on the hillsides, try to pick out antlers and everything like that. So definitely really excited to bring this out there. Try and find some mule deer with it. Let's see here. Kill kit. This is the High Country pack from Argali. So inside I got some couple pairs of rubber gloves. I tend to cut my gloves a lot, and plus my brother will be with me. I don't know. I always bring gloves for other people just in case. Knife. This is Argali's new carbon knife. I just used this on the bear hunt I was on. It went through 2 bears, no problem. Really excited about that knife. It's got great rigidity to it, popping out joints and everything. Super pumped on that thing. I also bring with me, just in case, it's not an absolute necessity, but I don't want to get stuck out there, just in case I dull the knife down at all. It is a fixed blade. So this is the pocket knife sharpener, or pocket sharpener from Work Sharp. This is really lightweight. It's got a diamond plate on this side with a guide, 20 degree angle, I believe, on here to hone the blade down. And then on this right here, it's got a ceramic rod to really fine tune the blade edge. And then I've also got in there paracord and flagging tape. The game bags, call me weird, I keep the game bags in a separate spot than this bag. I like to keep them in the water bladder sleeve of my backpack. Really easy to get to. The game bags are from Argali. These are the high country bags. You can fit, we fit 2 bone-in quarters in here from a bear on the bear hunt. Handled it like a champ, you know. Really rough country. So stoked on those. Are really lightweight. Let's see here. So that's my kill kit, and then just a couple miscellaneous items. I always carry a spare release with me. I have jammed a release before in the field, and then in turn ended up punching myself in the face when drawing my bow back. So I always carry a spare release with me. Allen wrenches for my bow. Here's a Adventure Medical Kit, ultralight, 1 person. These come with ibuprofen, but I always add more. I just take a little container and put a bunch in there and put them in here. I also add Tums, just in case I have any, you know, tummy issues or anything like that. And then toilet paper in this raggedy old plastic bag. Can't forget that. Let's see here. Here's my toothbrush, floss, and toothpaste. My dentist, she gives me these little itty bitty like ultralight toothbrushes and toothpaste things and stuff because she knows I do backpack hunting. So super appreciate that. And then headlamp, black diamond. I think this is the Spot. I could be wrong. They come out with so many different ones and they keep changing them. But this one has like, it's got like a spotlight on it. And then it's got like a wider field of view light. And then you can do a red light. The red light is actually usable on past ones. It just hasn't been bright enough for me. So other than eating a dinner, it was kind of useless, but this one works really well. You can also dim this thing, which is rad. I think if you this has 1 button, okay? So this goes back to when we were kids trying to like remember video game cheats and everything like that. Like there's all these combos for this 1 little button. So I believe if you hold the button down once the light is on, it'll dim the light, and then the light will brighten back up and dim the light. So you can kind of like save battery like that, which is something that I do often. I don't run the light on its full, on its maximum brightness, just because batteries are, battery life is kind of sacred out there. Also, well, speaking of battery life, I have a Dark Energy Poseidon that I'll bring in with me too, just to charge my phone. I'll be I kind of use my phone for Onyx maps, and randomly if I get service, which in Colorado it seems like I never do, but if I get service, I'll try to text my wife and stuff. And then this little bag here, this is a little accessory pouch that EXO makes that clips right into the main part of the bag. In here I've got basically just a little survival type of kit, some miscellaneous stuff. I have an actual compass in here, tenacious tape, waterproof matches, space blanket, flint, just some random. There's a striker. There's a little baby lighter in here. There's an Adventure Medical survival kit in here, from Adventure Medical. So that thing's pretty cool. And then what else? Yeah, boots. Well, socks come before boots. So on a 10-day hunt, I will typically bring 3 pairs of socks Okay, and I'll probably interchange it between, these are the new First Lite Mercuries. These things are super slick. And then these are, this is a super old pair of Cabela's XPG. It's like super ultralight merino nylon blend. I've used these things forever, and they might be one of the best socks I've ever had. So 3 pairs of socks though. What I do in the shelter is I kind of hang up P-cord in the shelter and kind of use it as a laundry line in there, and just kind of rotate through socks and stuff. Boots. Oh, another thing with socks. These are my stocking socks. Super thick, smart wool. So get a deer bedded down. I'll have these on, get into rain, slip my boots off, and I'll put these over these, and then and over my pant leg and stuff. So that's what I'm planning on doing for that. So that is socks, boots. This might be my new favorite boot. I've used this so far for a couple months now. This is the new Crispi Colorado, and I will be using them in Colorado. So so far I've had these on a few different bear hunts, packed out 2 bears, did Utah backcountry with them, which was, that was rough country. I was surprised. I was really glad I brought these with me. I normally am a super flexible kind of Solomon kind of hunter. I'm really glad I brought these. I was telling myself I was going to be hating life if I had those Solomons out there. I love that boot, but in really steep country, having the ability to take your foot and kind of just jam it in the side of a mountain so you can like get some traction, that goes a long ways, and that was not unnoticed with these. Took a tiny bit of breaking in, but other than that, these have been awesome. They're not as light as the Solomons, but I feel like boots are kind of like a give and take. You know what I mean? If you want something that's a little more durable, that's going to last longer, maybe there's a little bit of a break-in period, or do you want something super ultra light that is probably going to leak on you, and is not going to last as long? You can go with that too. It's all personal preference, you know. So, all right, now clothing. I like to do. My system is kind of consistent throughout most of the areas I hunt. It just works. So here's my stuff. I'm gonna go Corrugate guide pant, First Lite. These are the Wick boxers. These are amazing, like literally amazing. I'll bring 2 pairs of those for 10 days probably, and like I said, I'll interchange them, just hang them on my laundry line in the shelter and stuff. These are the new Guide Light gloves. I've been running these for the past month or so. These are slick. Really appreciate the extra the durability that comes with these. I've always used like the wool gloves, which are a little warmer, and you kind of get that warm and cozy feeling when you put them on, which is much appreciated in colder weather. But these hunts aren't going to be that cold, so I'm probably going to be wearing these. Then my first base layer, First Lite Wick hoodie. Thing is freaking money. The sizing on these, I know there was complaints years ago about sizing with their base layers and everything. They have completely revamped their merino line, and the sizing is like spot on. These are awesome. It's consistent. You don't randomly get a medium or something that's too short. You know, these are really cool. So I really appreciate that. Love the hood on the first layer too, just because I really like that for concealment. There's all different theories on camouflage and if camouflage works. I'm somebody that's going to tell you I 100% believe it works. So to each their own, but I really like that. Plus it keeps the sun off my neck. So next layer after that is going to be the Kiln. This is basically, if you've used First Lite in the past, this is very similar to the Chama. killer piece of gear. It's kind of like a mid-weight merino layer with a hood. Awesome base layer. And I forgot, Colorado tends to be a little bit colder than Arizona. So in my Arizona hunts that I just recently did, I was bringing the new Brooks down sweater, which honestly I didn't even put it on because it was too freaking hot. I love that jacket though. But in Colorado is a little cooler. So I'll be bringing the trusty Uncompahgre Puffy with me for this hunt. And then honestly, I'm probably going to be able to wear that Brooks probably until November in Arizona, I'd imagine. So that's going to do it. That's my get up. Yeah, I mean, all in all, this all weighs about, without food and water, this all weighs about 24 pounds, around there. It might be a little more, we'll say 25, maybe 26 pounds with the spotting scope, as I haven't weighed this out with this new spotter yet. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. I'll include links to as many things as I can down below. If you like the channel, hit subscribe. And until next time, catch you later.